most tedious, complicated one. Okay, as long as we know how to work on task 1, there's no problem to finish task 2. Okay, so I don't know where are we or what kind of things that we have done in our coursework. Okay, so I'll briefly talk about that. Okay, and then you tell me what there's any particular thing that I need to mention, or if I need to show you to construct the portfolio again. Okay. So for task 1, first of all, we need to collect data of 30 stocks. Have we done that? Please raise your hand if we have done that. Okay, good. Okay, like around half of us. So if you haven't done that, please start working on that. Okay, so the close price of first 30 stocks, it could take time. Okay? Any particular questions there? Okay, so we need to have one benchmark. Okay, so it's really up to us. If we select the data select the stocks from New York Stock Exchange, from Nasdaq, then it's better to use like S&P 500 or Nasdaq index as benchmark. Okay, if we select stocks mainly from London Stock Exchange, then it's better to use the FTSE 100. Okay, so it depends on what kind of stock that you select from which stock exchange. Okay, so this is about benchmark. And then one risk-free rate. Okay, so normally we use 3 months treasury bill as the risk-free asset. Okay, so please select the data from the Federal Reserve St. Louis webpage. Okay. For 30 stocks, we can easily collect data from Yahoo Finance or Icon. So Icon could be very useful, okay, but we need to get accounts from the library, okay? And you might find that we can't download the data of market index, okay? But we can just simply Google it, like FTSE 100 data collection, for example. Then we can collect data from investing.com. Okay, so here we can select the data frequency from daily to monthly. Okay, and we select the data range, and then download the data. Okay. Is that clear? Do you have any questions? Do you have any questions? Any questions? Yeah? What question?
Not for the risk-free rate, we have to take US Treasury bills.
Okay, so what do you like to do? What kind of data do you like to use?
I have selected companies from FTSE 100, so can I go for yield?
Okay, yield is alright. So what kind of yield? There are lots of various yields there. Which yield will you particularly use? Does that make sense? Okay, so just to make your life easier, if you like to use yield, this is a very good idea. Because like we use stocks from FTSE 100, but comparing yield, 3 month treasury bill is more like risk-free asset. The risk level of 3 month treasury bill is lower than 3 months yield. Okay, why is that? Because comparing to the UK fixed income assets, government bonds or government short-term yields, right? Actually, the bond or treasury bill issued by US government has a lower risk level. Okay? Yeah, does make sense.
Because of the reserve coins.
Yes, definitely. Okay, so we need to use. Is that correct? We need to use 5-year data. So 61 months. Okay? So it's from December 2016 to December 2021. So this is compulsory. Okay? So similarly, if we also need to collect 61 months data for benchmark and risk-free asset. Okay? Are we good? Any questions? Any other questions? Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So we use data up to December 2021. Okay, not December 2022. Why's that? Because we use this 5-year data to construct a portfolio. Okay. After constructing the portfolio, we need to assess the performance of the portfolio. Okay. Therefore, we need to further use the data of this year. Okay. So from December 2021 to December 2022 to assess the performance of our portfolios. Okay. So this part we can leave to the January 2023. Okay. So. Yeah, so up to now, we construct portfolios and then depict the efficient set, right? Okay, because there are a few portfolios, a few efficient set that we need to depict, okay? So there are actually 4 minimum variance frontier or feasible set that we need to derive, okay? First, the short sales are restricted, which means that the weights of all assets are positive, okay? And to depict minimum variance frontier, we need to construct at least 10 portfolios, okay? And then second, short sales are allowed, okay? But we need to set a constraint on the weight of each asset. Okay, so there should be a minimum weight of each asset there. It could be minus 10%, minus 20%, minus 5%. Okay, it's up to you guys to decide the minimum weight of each asset. But once we set a minimum weight on one asset, we set the same minimum weight on the rest of the assets. Okay. Then another two minimum variance frontier that we need to depict, okay, is based on the high and the low beta of these 30 stocks. So remember, we need to classify the 30 stocks into 2 groups, okay, with high beta and the low beta. So we use 15 stocks to construct 10 portfolios and then to derive the minimum variance frontier, okay? Does it make sense? Okay? So, for this 4 minimum variance frontier, we basically construct 40 portfolios, right? For each one, we need to construct 10 portfolios. So, what portfolios are we investing in? Okay? It doesn't mean that we invest in all these 40 portfolios. Actually, only 4 portfolios from this 4 minimum variance frontier. Okay, we only use that optimal portfolio. Okay, so that optimal portfolio is what we constructed and then sell it in the market. Okay, does it make sense? So when we assess the performance of the portfolios, we actually assess the 4 optimal portfolios. Okay? Does it make sense? Okay, with regard to the performance evaluation, we will talk about that in next lecture. Okay, so we don't need to worry about it at the moment. So for the remaining part is how to calculate return, how to calculate annualized return standard deviation. Okay.
But
so
shouldn't we submit it by the next lecture?
Sorry. Okay, yes, so we have different submission dates, right? So there are two formative submission, which means that it's not compulsory. Okay, you don't have to submit it if you haven't done anything. Okay, but I encourage you to do so, no matter how much you have done. Okay, because I will give you some feedback. I will check your work and give you some feedback. Okay, don't worry.
I submitted without the performance evaluation.
Yeah, you don't have to. You don't need to add the performance evaluation there. Okay, you just submit some spreadsheet, and if you can also submit a report. Okay, so there are two tabs there in the Turnitin link. One is for submitting spreadsheet. One is for submitting the report. Okay, it would be great if you submit these two files. Okay, so that I can take a look and give you some feedback, and then you can improve your work. Okay. Okay. It doesn't matter if you haven't done report. It's fine. Okay. But I encourage you to do as much as you can. Okay. Because when you try to work on first two minimum variance frontier, one is short sales allowed and one is short sale not allowed, then you basically can finish all the rest of the tasks. Okay, because there could be a lot of issues that you would face when you work on these two frontiers. Okay, does make sense? Yeah, so the first formative submission is the 5th of December, and the second one is on 9th of January. Okay, there will be no grades given, but I will still give you 100% to basically to reward you have done something. Okay, you make your effort and done something. Okay, but doesn't mean that you do perfectly well. Okay, please be aware of that. Okay, and the components of report. Okay, so there should be market review. Okay, we reflect what happened to the market over the last year or currently, right? It should be last year. Okay, because we construct portfolios using the data up to December 2021. Okay, and then investment objective and policy. Okay, so what's the objective of constructing the portfolios? Okay, fund profile. So, like the amount of money invested in fund. Okay, the trading date, the inception date of the fund. Okay, so what's the date of starting trading the fund? What's the date? Sorry? No, December 2000. Sorry? Of 2022. Yeah, very good. Okay, the first trading day is 1st of January 2022. Okay. Yeah, so we need to mention that in the fund profile. Okay. So for task 1, there should be 4 funds there. Okay, and the different amounts of money invested in these 4 funds. And the top 10 holdings, we can mention top 10 holdings and the sectors of these stocks. Okay, and the risk profile, what kind of risks that investors would face after investing in this fund. We can talk about that. Okay. Then performance evaluation, this part is what we will do after the next 2 lecture. Okay. And then investment managers review. So basically, is to summarize the fund, the performance of the fund. Okay. And then outlook. So we can discuss the future performance of this fund given the economic situation. Okay. And there's one more thing that we need to do. So this is a must-do thing. We need to discuss the advantages and drawbacks of short selling. We can discuss that when we talk about the performance of different funds, because we construct a fund with the short sale restricted and a fund with short selling allowed. Okay? Yeah, are we good? So I can show you the work done by the previous year's students. So this work is kind of very professional. So you can name your funds, okay? And then fund profile, right? So it's treated in what kind of currency and the balance, the total balance of this fund. So he basically accumulates the amount of funds, okay? And start trading date and closing date, right? But we don't have to put closing date there. Asset class, so this is equity fund because we just invest in stocks, right? And then benchmark, okay? Market review, yeah, so he may discuss the impact of COVID, what's the performance of the market, right? And the investment objective and the policy, actually we have four main objectives given the four funds that we construct, okay? And also the companies are mainly selected from which kind of stock exchange, okay? So there is an overview of the benchmark, okay, so basically it's talking about the performance of the market. And then holdings, top 10 or top 5 holdings, it depends on how many assets would be included in the portfolio, okay? And then we can use some figure to show the weights of different sectors. Okay, so it's very clear, right? We're very straightforward in terms of the sectors included in each fund. Okay, and then it's the performance of these funds comparing to the benchmark. Okay, so this is still the holdings. Okay, so it's a risk profile. So we can talk about what kind of risks that investors are mainly facing. Okay, we can talk about like the inflation rates, right, political rates, yeah, and what else? Mainly this risk, or maybe exchange rate risk. Okay, and then performance evaluation. Okay, so we basically need to present a table to show returns and the risk, and then there should be actually further information on like the Sharpe ratio. So it doesn't, okay, here is the table to show the performance, okay, of these four funds. So Sharpe ratio, Turner ratio, Jason's alpha, and Sortino's ratio. So this is what we will learn in the next lecture. Okay, so these are the ratios that we need to show in the table, okay? And compare it with the benchmark. So this is the benchmark's performance. Okay, so four funds here, party local and no short sale and short sale amount. Okay. Then we need to analyze the performance of these four funds. They gave some reasons there. Okay, and then outlook, investment managers review. Okay. And then short selling advantages, disadvantages. So he gave a separate section to discuss particularly on that. Okay. So this is about the first fund and the fund. And the next is the investment manager fund. Okay, we can talk about that in more detail. Okay, is that clear? Okay, we can see another example. Yes, that's what they mean there, right? 3,000 words. Okay, but we can exceed that by 10%. What?
Yeah. Can you please put it on the Moodle? We can check it.
I don't think I can because there are some good information there. Okay, I'll think about that. Okay, I'll think about that.
Like, if there is any other sample out there,
I have already uploaded 2 samples.
Yeah,
okay.
I checked that.
Yeah. So this is another example. Okay, this is another work done by the students from last year. Okay, again we can see market review, investment objective, and policy, right? Risk profile, fund profile. Okay, so there's detailed information about the risks. Okay, stock risk, market risk, exchange risk, and the sector diversification. Okay, and and then equity performance. Okay. Investment managers review the shorts they allowed, and the problems. Okay, so he or she discussed the performance of these 4 funds separately. Okay, and then outlook as well. Okay. Yeah, is that all right? Is that clear? Okay. So that's it about task 1. So I would like to talk a little bit more about task 1. Okay. So are we clear about the 10 portfolios that we need to construct? Are we clear about that? Do we know how to construct the 10 portfolios? Do we know about that? Okay, not really. Okay. So what do you like me to do? Do you like me to show you the work again? Like how to? You would like me to show that? Okay. So I'll show the process again, okay? So first we download all the data, right? We put in the spreadsheet, we got risk-free rates on the first column, and then the price of the 30 stocks, yeah? And then we calculate return, so I suppose there's no problem on that. Do we know how to calculate return? All good on that? You need me to show you how to calculate return?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, so I'll do that. So for the risk-free rate, okay, so actually the data we downloaded is already the rate is already returned. Okay, so what we need to do is to convert the yearly return to monthly, because for the stocks the return that we got is actually monthly. So this is what we need to do. Okay. So it's equals to 1 plus the risk-free rate, and this is shown in the percentage. So we need to divide it by 100, and then to the power of 1/12, okay, and then -1. So this is how we get the monthly return, okay? Yeah, is that alright? So this is to convert the annual rate of return to monthly, and we can just double collect and then get all the return of the risk-free asset. Sorry? Can I start this spring? I'm not sure that if I can. What's the is there any button here? I don't know if there's any button.
Here we've got 13 stocks, right?
Yeah, I just.
How many we need?
I have those 15 stocks here. What we need to have is 30 stocks. Okay, 30 stocks.
So this question will be like.
Yeah, it's very large. Okay, 30 stocks. Okay. Actually, I don't know how to turn it on. Okay, so what I can do is to make it a little bigger. Okay, is that clear right now? Okay. So actually, it's just lots of columns. There are 31 columns, right? But when calculating the return, it's not that complicated, right? So for calculating the return of the asset,